As sons and daughters of Indians, you and I are expected to finish school, to get an apartment, to get married, to buy a bigger house, to have kids, to get a better job, and so on and so forth. Yes or no? Yes. And why are we supposed to do this? Just because we're supposed to do this. At the same time, you and I are born in North America. Most of us are born in North America. So we're also expected to date people in high school. We're supposed to party. We're supposed to travel lots. We're supposed to fit that image of the West, that capitalistic image. And why are we supposed to do that? Just because we're supposed to. When we make these choices of doing just what we're supposed to as our parents did, and just what we're supposed to as everyone else is doing, we subconsciously enter into a race. And what's particular about this race is that there's no finish line. There's no end to this race. And we may not know that yet, but the people that do know this are our parents. I did a discourse in London, and the theme was the science of desire management. And I asked everyone, I said, what is the Indian dream? And they listed everything that I had just said. And I asked all of those people, have you achieved your dreams? Referring to all the adults in the audience. And they said yes. And naturally, my next question was, are you happy? And everyone immediately looked away from me because they knew that I would ask them, why aren't they happy? This is the perplexity of this race, of these dreams, is that if you achieve it, you're not happy. And if you don't achieve it, you're not happy. That's why I said this race doesn't have an end. It's just a race. And if it's a race, we feel like we have to keep on running. That I have to win. And if I have to win, that means you have to lose. Either you win or I win. I have to be better than all of you. That's the nature of a race. In contemporary language, we call this the rat race. That we hear about, that we read about, that we talk about. In Vedanta, we call it samsara. The ocean of mundane existence. That's samsara. And as Puja Guruji nicely says, he says in this rat race, even if you win, you're still a rat. And it's true. Is this really what living is about? Is this what we want our lives to be? This incessant race where I have to be better than you, where I have to be dependent, where there's no end, or even when I achieve what I aspire to achieve, that I'm still not happy? Because if we don't think about it, if we don't act on it, then we are succumbing to such a life. And this is why we chose to have this as our closing discourse, with the theme of transcending the rat race. The rat race that some of us are already living, some of us are about to get into, some of us that are just learning about it. When we think about how our parents learned, especially religious studies, memorize this, do this, don't ask questions. That's how our parents learned. I'm allowed to say it too because my parents learned that way too. They learned in very limited fashion when it came to religion, at least. You and I are learning in the same way. But it's not religion, it's life. We go about doing whatever we're doing, but we never stop. Or not even stop it, we never even ask why. Why do I go to school? Why do I have to get married? Why do I have to make lots of money? Why do I have to be beautiful? Why do I have to be better than you? Why can't I be American? Why can't I move back to India? In high school, that was something that really made things complicated for me, is why do I have to feel important? In high school, you're supposed to be cool, you're supposed to stand out, but I never understood that. Why do I have to feel important? When I told my mother I wanted to join the Vedanta course, she obviously, being a mother, was not into that, was not supportive of that. But I said, you left India to come to Canada for happiness. Why can't I leave Canada to go to India for happiness? Why don't we ask these questions? Questions like, am I a rat? Do I have to be dependent on people, on objects, on things, on my ego, on my status, and whatever label or adjective or noun you want to put there? Do I have to be dependent on it like a rat is dependent on food or filth? Do I have to be better than you? Why? Why do I have to be better than you? Why do I have to win and why do you have to lose? When we start asking these questions, this race we rats are living in, that are running it, it all dissolves then. We realize that we're not in a race and that we're not rats. It's very similar to those who have studied Upadesara. Has anyone studied that? By Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi? He talks about Karma Yoga, he talks about Bhakti Yoga, he talks about Raja Yoga, and then he gets into Jnana Yoga. And he asks, because these first three yogas are focusing on the mind, and in the last yoga he asks, what is the mind? Do we have a mind? Are we the mind? All of those symptoms dissolve if we don't have the cause, if we don't have the disease. If I ask, am I a rat? Am I racing? The rat race comes to an end. Am I independent? If I ask the question, I'll realize that I am independent. I'll realize that I don't have to be better than you. I can be equal to you. We can be the same. What makes one better and one lesser? Skin color? Income? Are these really nice things to discriminate on? We study about Viveka. Viveka is the discrimination between the real and unreal. And we don't practice that, but we practice other discrimination. Racial discrimination. Demographic discrimination. It's a pretty useless discrimination that we practice. When the important one that brings us happiness, we say, no, we don't want to do that. That's discrimination. You and I can be independent. And we don't have to be better than each other. We just have to be better than ourselves. I don't have to be better than you. I just have to be better than me. Often when I speak, and I speak quite a bit now, as you can tell, people come up to me afterwards, oh, that was great, you spoke really well. And I listen, but I don't let all of it filter inside of me. Because only I know if I spoke well or not. I know what I want to say, I know how I want to say it. I'm the judge of if I spoke well or not. In the same way, you are the judge if you're successful or not. You are the judge if you're wealthy or not. That's why I asked you to judge yourself on how wealthy you are according to peace. It's easy to judge ourselves on actual wealth, but who cares? That peace. Are we wealthy? And if we're not, it's not I'm wealthier than my neighbor or not. I have to be wealthier for myself. We can be independent. We are independent. We don't have to be better than each other. We have to be better than ourselves. Three Idiots exemplifies this beautifully. It is a highly Vedantic movie and a highly entertaining movie as well. Please take the time to watch that movie when you get a chance, and not a burned copy. It's a good movie. If we keep, literally, if we keep on supporting these illegal downloads and so on and so forth, and these movies, they probably won't stop.
They'll actually be online for free for 3 months.
Okay, there you go. They'll be online for